Hello, RaMell. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm okay. Where did you spend Christmas?
I spent Christmas in Northern Virginia with my dad. Well, Aldie, Virginia, but yeah. What a state.
What a state! Yes, and I think the New Year is going to be quite exciting for you, RaMell. I don't know. It just feels as though there might be a few celebratory moments for you and your colleagues.
I hope so, but I won't count on it just because disappointment is maybe the toughest pain.
Yeah. Okay. Well, um, so introduce us to Nickel Boys. It's obviously based on the Colson Whitehead Pulitzer Prize winning novel, which was called The Nickel Boys. Was there a reason that you dropped the?
Yeah, we wanted there to be a little more specificity. They weren't because we're also sort of in the way that Coulson did in other ways, sort of we were honoring the Dozier School boys. We wanted to just sort of narrow the purview, and also not take over Coulson's internet search engine, the Nickel Boys. Like he has a book and we're making a film, and we want them to be friends, not enemies.
Exactly, exactly. So just introduce us to your picture, just in the broadest terms, because this really is a film that has to be seen to be understood. But just introduce us to what you've created here.
Yeah, Simon, the Nickel Boys is a adaptation based on Colson Whitehead's novel about two young boys who meet at a reform school and about their relationship over time. One of them, Elwood, is sent there uh, unjustly, and the consequences span um, generations, essentially. And the film takes a sensory and sort of experiential approach to the story and uses um, a relatively inventive method of point of view, first person camera, in order to sort of access the interior space of the characters and also allow the audience to exist simultaneously and to view the world simultaneously with those characters.
Okay. So did you read the book prior to being given the job of making this movie, or did you read it once you've been asked to do the film?
I think I was really fortunate to be asked to adapt the book, but also to have the book before it was published. Got a copy 2 months before, and so it hadn't won the Pulitzer yet. People know Coulson, and I knew Coulson, at least as a cultural figure. But yeah, the adaptation process started with this piece that felt like very bespoke and um, yeah, unencountered, really.
When you were reading it, did the idea of, I want to unpack the whole point of view thing in just a moment, but the way you were going to film it, did it occur to you immediately as soon as you read the book? Did you know how you were going to film it?
Yes, I did. And I think, for someone coming to Nickel Boys and watching the camera language and the edit and the sort of sensory experiential values of it quite often feels like, where did this come from? And I like to point to a film I made previously called Hell County This Morning, This Evening, that used
Oscar nominated.
yes, a very similar camera language and a very similar sensory approach. And so, yeah, I was fortunate to have Dee Dee Gardner and Jeremy Kleiner at Plan B, who had the IP of Nickel Boys, kind of want that type of um, specificity and that type of, let's say, cinema explosion of visuals.
So, did you know what this film would look like before the script?
I did. I
Yes.
did. But it's funny to know something and then to manifest it in a material way, because you're challenged with the language of the imagination and the language of what you're familiar with, even if it's combining experiences and visions of the past. But I had a very clear sense of it, and it was fun to find those registrations over time.